Yeah. Yeah, I saw it. So who is it? It's okay.
And eventually we'll get a few more
Right.
but I want to overburden until we go through the initial period.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Um, by the way, so I realized, or I figured out the formatting issue I was mentioning about the weekly email. It's how it appears on my phone.
Oh, I think.
Because.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The phone does, it replaces font.
Yes, and because since you always send me a test email ahead of time, when you do send it out, it comes in as another test email.
On your phone?
Yes.
It shouldn't.
I know it shouldn't, but it does. I don't know why, but it does. Yeah. Good job. How are you? Good. Shabbat Shalom and welcome everyone. Thank you for being here this evening. We are going to get started this evening with Kabbalat Shabbat, the service for welcoming Shabbat and starting Shabbat. I invite everyone to take a siddur, and if you need one, they are over around the corner here on the other side of the wall, right at the entrance. Let's turn to page 5. Let's begin together by introducing Kabbalat Shabbat and doing an introductory song together at the bottom of the page. Shalom Aleichem. Please join me. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malachei hamalachim hakadosh baruch hu. Boachem leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamalachim hakadosh baruch hu. Baruchuni leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamalachim hakadosh baruch hu. Tzei techem leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamalachim hakadosh baruch hu. Let us turn to page 11 for the official beginning of Kabbalat Shabbat. And let's sing together Psalm 95, the beginning of Psalm 95. Lechune Ranena, page 11. Lechune Ranena, Lechune Ranena, Lechune Ranena Ladonai. Lechune Ranena, Lechune Ranena, Lechune Ranena Ladonai. Naria, Naria, Litsuri Shenu, Nekarma Fanav Betoda. Naria, Naria, Litsuri Shenu, Bismirot Narialo. Lechune Ranena, Lechune Ranena, Lechune Ranena Ladonai. Lechune Ranena, Lechune Ranena, Lechune Ranena Ladonai. The heavens shall be glad and the earth rejoice, the sea and its fullness roar. The meadows and all that grows in them exult, even the trees of the forest shall sing praise, as Adonai comes to judge the earth, judging lands with righteousness and peoples with divine truth. Middle of page 14, please join me as we sing together, Yismechu HaShamayim. Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, umlo. Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, umlo. Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. Exalt Adonai our God, and bow down at God's holy mountain. For Adonai our God is holy. Let's turn to page 20 towards the bottom of the Hebrew section where the little arrow is pointing inward. Let's sing together, Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kocho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kocho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kocho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodesho. And now let's turn the page to page 21. I invite everyone to please rise, and we will sing together Psalm 29, Mizmor LeDavid. Mizmor LeDavid, Havol Adonai b'nei elim, Havol Adonai kavod va'oz, Havol Adonai kevod shemo ishtachavu Adonai behadrat kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim, el hakavod hirim, Adonai al mayim rabim, ma'elai, Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai behadar, Kol Adonai shover arazim v'yishaber Adonai et arzei halvanon, vayarkidem kemo egel, לבנון וסריון, כמו ונרעמים אלי, כל אדוני, חוצב להבות אש, כל אדוני, יחיל מדבר, יחיל אדוני, מדבר קדש, כל אדוני, יחולל איילות, ויחשוף יערות, ובהיכלו כולו אומר כבוד אלי, אדוני למבול ישב, וישב אדוני מלך לעולם, אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. Lai 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 lai. You may be seated. We will continue now with L'chadodi, the prayer, the song that officially welcomes Shabbat. We will sing the first two stanzas, or the first two sets of verses on page 23. We will then do the middle stanza on 24, and then we'll do the final stanza on 25. And when we get to that final stanza, we will all rise and face the entrance of the sanctuary at that time. For those who are at home, you will face the entrance of your home. And we do that, and we bow when we do that, in order to welcome the Shabbat bride, welcome the Shabbat queen. Just as we rise during a wedding, when the bride walks down the aisle, we rise and welcome the Shabbat bride as she enters during Shabbat. Pages 23 through 25. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela la 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 la. Lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor bedibur echad, Hishmianu el hameyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'litila la 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 la. Lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor haberacha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machashavat echila la 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 la. Lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Middle of 24. Hit oreri, ki va'orech kum yori. Uri, Uri, shir dabehiri, kevod Adonai alayich nigla la 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 la. Lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Page 25 at the bottom. Please rise, face the entrance of the sanctuary. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha u'v'tzola, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, la 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 la. Lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. La 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 la. Lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. You may be seated. Let's now turn to page 27. Now that we've officially welcomed Shabbat and the Shabbat bride or the Shabbat queen has entered our presence, let's now recite the Psalm for Shabbat, Psalm 92 at the top of page 27. Please join me. Mizmor shir leyom HaShabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer leshimcha elyon, uzamer leshimcha elyon. Mizmor shir leyom HaShabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer leshimcha elyon, uzamer leshimcha elyon. Lehagid baboker chastecha ve'emunatecha balelot alei asor va'alei navel alei higayon bechinor mizmor shir leyom HaShabbat tov lehodot l'Adonai Ulzamer leshimcha elyon, ulzamer leshimcha elyon. The righteous flourish like the date palm, thrive like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they flourish in our God's courtyards. Middle of page 28. Tzadik katamar yifrach, Ke'erez balvanon yizke, shetulim beveit Adonai, bechatzorot Eloheinu yafrichu, od yenuvun beseva, deshenim verananim yihiu, Lehagid ki ashar Adonai tsuri velo avalat abo. And before we continue with the evening service or the Mariv service for Shabbat, I would like to share with you a few thoughts about this week's Torah portion. This week we read what's known as a double parsha or a double Torah reading, Chukat and Balak. So we call the Torah portion Chukat-Balak. We combine the two names. Here in the diaspora, we have to do that sometimes, where we have to double up on Torah portions in order for all of the Torah readings to fit into the yearly calendar. Israel is on a little bit of a different Torah reading schedule, mainly because certain festivals, they don't celebrate the second or last day of the festival. And that's a whole other discussion I can tell you about another time. So as such, what happens, especially in the summer, is that Israel will sometimes be 1 week ahead of us in the Torah readings than we are here in the United States or outside of Israel. Either way, Chukat-Balak is more famous than people think. There are things that happen in this Torah reading that are well-known stories and well-known verses that a lot of people don't realize this is the Torah reading where it comes from. The most famous story is where the Jewish people are complaining that they don't have enough food and they don't have enough water. So God tells Moses to speak to a rock, and after speaking to that rock, water will come forth from that rock, and then he can use that water to quench the thirst of the Jewish people. Well, Moses gets frustrated and angry and upset with the nation of Israel because we're Jews, we like to complain. So Moses gets a little frustrated with that, and instead of speaking to the rock, he goes and takes his staff and he hits the rock. And not only does he hit the rock, he does it twice. Water comes forth from it. He uses the water to quench the thirst of everybody in the nation. But after that, God punishes Moses. And the punishment that God gave to Moses seems to be a little severe. That punishment is that Moses is forbidden from entering the land of Israel. God will allow him to see it from afar. God will allow him to watch the Jewish people approach it. But Moses himself will never be allowed to enter the land of Israel. A lot of people might think that's a bit of a severe punishment for Moses. So, why so severe? Moses has lost his temper before. He's called the Jewish people stubborn and stiff-necked. God even has gotten angry at the world. God had to reset the world once because he got so angry with the world. So why is this a severe punishment? And there used to be a well-known 19th century Ukrainian rabbi by the name of Rabbi Yisrael of Rushkin, who taught that it's human nature for us to get upset, for us to get angry, for us to lose our temper. What is beyond human nature is to do that more than once within any given situation. And so we're initially allowed to get mad, but then we have to let it go quickly. And if we don't, and continue to get mad over and over again multiple times within one situation, that's considered inhumane, according to this rabbi. And so it is his interpretation, it's his belief that that's why the punishment was so severe. And that's certainly something that I think we all can learn from, especially in today's time. We all get frustrated, we all get angry, we all get mad at different things. We're allowed to feel that way, but we also have to quickly let it go. And I know that I myself have to be reminded of that constantly, and I'm sure we all as well. With that, let us continue now with our Mariv service. I invite everyone to turn to page 39a and to please rise for the Barchu, the call to worship. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la 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 da da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la la da da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la la da da. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. Please join me on the English side of 39a. Let's read the first blessing of the Mariv service together in English. Baruch atah Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky, who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from light, who makes day pass into night, who distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tsevaot is your name. Living and ever-present God, may your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch atah Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk. Umavir yom umevi laila, umavir ben yom uvein laila, Adonai Tsevaot shemo, el chai v'kayam tamim lochaleinu leolam vahed. Baruch atah Adonai, hamahariv aravim. Let us turn to page 40, and we will sing together Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael, Amecha Avta, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו, בשוכבנו ובקומנו, נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ואורך ימינו, ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה, יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. Page 41. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, bechol levavecha, uvechol nafshecha, uvechol meodecha, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. We will continue privately with the second and third paragraphs of the Shema, page 42. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Top of page 43a. אמת ואמונה כל זאת וקיים עלינו, כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואין זולתו, ואנחנו ישראל עמו. God brought Israel from its midst to lasting freedom and led them through the divided water of the Sea of Reeds. As their pursuers and enemies drowned in the depths, God's children beheld the power of the divine. They praised and acknowledged God's name willingly, accepting God's sovereignty. Then Moses, Miriam, and the people of Israel joyfully sang unto you, who is like you, Adonai, among the mighty? Who is like you, adorned in holiness, revered in praise, working wonders? Top of page 44. ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ובני ישראל לכנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נורא תהילות עושה פלא מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה זה אלי אנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Let's turn to page 45. We will recite together the Hashkivenu prayer. We will begin by singing parts of it in Hebrew and then recite it in English on the English side. Page 45. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Ushmor tzeitenu uvoenu lechaim ulshalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you, God, watch over and deliver us, and you, God, are sovereign, merciful, and compassionate. Ensure our going and coming for life and peace now and forever. May you spread over us the canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Uferos aleinu sukat shalomecha, Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Please rise as we continue now with V'shamru and Chatzi Kaddish on page 46. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash shavat vayinafash, v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et hashabat la'asot et hashabat ledorotam berit olam. Yitgadal ve'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divarach kirutei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv ve'imeru, amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevarach, le'alam u'le'al me'al maya, yitbarach ve'yishtabach, ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitromam ve'yitnaseh, ve'yithadar ve'yithaleh ve'yithalhal, shemei dekudesha berichu, le'ela min kol birchata ve'shirata, tushbechata ve'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma ve'imeru. Amen. The private silent Amida starts on page 47 and concludes on page 52. Middle of page 51. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amecha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amecha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol ashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol ashalom. Shalom rahav al Yisrael amecha tasim leolam. Shalom rahav al Yisrael amecha tasim leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amacha Yisrael bechol leit uvechol sha'a b'shalomecha. Shalom rahav al Yisrael amecha tasim leolam. Shalom rahav al Yisrael amecha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Baruch atah Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. We will switch moods for a moment, and we are going to pray for those who are in need of healing and for those who are ill. And we will sing together the Debbie Friedman version of Misha Berach, and then I will read the names that we have on our list. If you have any names you would like to add this evening, please remain standing in your place. And after I read the list, we'll go around the room, and if there's anybody online who has a name you would like to add, go ahead and unmute. Misha Berach. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor habracha laimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Chava Sarah bat Basha, Esther Neshama bat Sarah, Yehudit bat Kalman, Rachel bat Esther, Chaim ben Pesach, Diane Chodorow, Alan Chodorow, Larry Levy, Rachel Langer, Beth Stewart, Jack Azuz. Nechama Malka bat Devorah Shoshana, Manoach Avram Halevi ben Ilana Michal, David ben Razel, Mirit bat Miriam, Aharon ben Chaya Golda, Yardena bat Sarah, Yera Sarah bat Nechama Malka, Tal ben Sarah, Dan Shaw, Al Montano, Sandra Kite, Healy Solomon, Kathy Brown, Gary Guto, Harriet Feinberg, Arnie Tenenbaum, Frank Todora, Philip Todora, Brandon Simpson, Ken Gasser, Cynthia Chapman, Ira Robinson, Millie Chapman, Andrea Kotke, Jennifer Brown Lerner, Eva Curis.
Stephen Lukanik, Patty Watts.
Harvey Ruskin. Stephen Lukanik, Patty Watts. Harvey Ruskin. Stephen Lukanik, Patty Watts. 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 Stephen
Is there anybody online who would like to add a name? Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. May they all find healing both physically and spiritually. We'll continue now with the full Kaddish, page 54. Yit gadal vit kadashem merabam. Be'almadi v'ra kirutei ve'amlich malchutei b'chayechon v'yomechon u'v'chay dechol beit Yisrael ba'galav izman karim ve'imeru. Amen. Yehi shemei rabam mevarach le'alam u'le'al me'al maya yitbarach yitbarach v'ishtabach v'itpa'ar v'itramam v'itnaseh v'ithadar v'itale v'ithalal shmei dekudesha b'richu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran be'alma ve'imeru. Amen. Tit Kabal Salatahon Vatahon de Chol Yisrael, Kodama Vahon Divishmaya Veimeru. Amen. Yehi Shlam Rabbamin Shemaya V'chaim Alinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Veimeru. Amen. Ose Shalom Imromav Huyase Shalom Alinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Veimeru. Amen. I invite everyone to turn to page 55. We are going to continue with the Shabbat evening Kiddush. If anybody would like a cup of grape juice, we have some cups here and a bottle of grape juice. You can come and help yourself. I invite everyone to please rise, page 55. And for those who are watching at home, if you have your wine or grape juice handy, please go ahead and get that now. Page 55. Savri manan v'rabanan v'rabotai, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim. Ki yavanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, ve'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uv'ratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-shabbat. L'chaim. We will continue with Aleinu, page 56. Please rise or remain standing. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer brishit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת, אין עוד, על כן יכבד לך אדוני אלוהינו. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני מלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. We still require a minyan to finish our service. If anyone who is in here right now leaves, we will not have enough for a minyan. So, especially in order to say the next prayer, which would be the Kaddish, we are going to remember those who are no longer with us in our community. And this Shabbat, we remember Hyman Pitkovsky, Russell Macklin, Bruce Harvey, Ben Ivaner, Dora Amchin, Frederick Helms, Robert Heyman, Charles Buchalter, Bessie Slonim, Esperanza Garcia, Michael Macklin, Rose Finkelstein, Jay Hertz, Lionel Salzberg, Andrew Madak, and Philip Friedman. And if there's anybody else you are remembering this evening, please take a moment to remember them in your mind and in your heart. We'll continue with Mourner's Kaddish, page 58. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divera kirutei ve'amlich malchutei, Bechayechon v'yomechon uvechaye dechol Beit Israel, Ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olam me'almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitale v'yithalal, Shemei d'Kudisha b'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. You may be seated. In a couple of moments, we'll conclude with Adon Olam, followed by Kiddush and, we did Kiddush already. We'll conclude with Adon Olam to conclude our services. But before then, a few announcements.
Good Shabbos, everyone. Nice to see everyone here. Good Shabbos. It's a good old-fashioned good Shabbos. Thank you all for being here tonight. Just one very brief announcement, which has to do with the fundraiser for the sisterhood. And it's the annual honey fundraiser. And this is a wonderful thing because you get to give a gift of a jar of honey to anybody who you would like to send it to. And I send them to my kids on the West Coast, and they really enjoy it. I even send it to my daughter's mother-in-law, and it's a very nice thing. She really appreciates that, especially since it's in my daughter's name. So it's $14 a jar, and there's 3 ways of acquiring this. You can order on the CBI website or on the e-blast, and also look for the form in the shofar, and you can order straight from there. If you have any questions about this, please see me. And good Shabbos, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow, 9:30, for our Saturday morning service. Also, the office will be open on Monday as well.
Okay, thank you, Harvey. And please mark your calendars for next month, July, or this coming month, rather, July 21st. We are going to have a Shabbat dinner here at Bnai. That will be sponsored by the Men's Club, the programming committee, the ritual committee, and the membership committee are all pitching in. And we're going to also have a musical service, an acoustic musical service with violin and guitar that evening as well. This is part of a new initiative we are trying out to bring people together for Shabbat dinner, but then also to kind of expand a further program idea later on throughout the year. I'm sure as we get closer, Men's Club and Jimmy and Misha will tell us more about that. And with that, let us conclude with Adon Olam on page 211. Since it is a special weekend, we have a special melody for Adon Olam. Page 211. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem kol Yitzir, B'terem kol Yitzir Nivra, Le'et Nasa, V'chefso kol, Azai Melech, Shemo Nikra, Le'et Nasa, V'chefso kol, Azai Melech, Shemo Nikra, Ve'acharei Kiklot hakol levado yimloch nora vehu haya vehu hove vehu hiye betifara vehu echad ve'ein she'eni leham shilalo lehachbira beli reshit beli tachlit velo haoz velo haoz vehamisra vehu eli vechai goali v'tzor chevli v'tzara vehu nisi Omanos li menat kosi beyom ekra beyado avkid ruchi be'etishan ve'aira Ve'im ruchi geviati Adonai li velo ira Adon olam asher malach beterem kol yetzir nivra. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Happy 4th of July. And we will see everybody tomorrow. Good Shabbos. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Good Shabbos.